brothers and sisters, welcome.
Hi.
We're going to do a chitty chat about a video that Victoria just did, and she wasn't happy with it, so she took it down. Mark said he was fascinated with the information. So it's called Preparation in the Quarry, Shaping Stones Fitting into New Jerusalem, not Temple. As you know, there's no temple in the New Jerusalem.
No.
There probably is one in 𝐔𝐿 where he is. That's why it's all got to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
what did you like about the information, Marky?
Well, love going back into the old shadows and seeing what happened with Solomon was fascinating, and the stones and the incredible, just the elaborate building and the stone quarry so far away from the building site. Just not just details for the sake of it. You can just see it happening in our lives. Where we're being prepared in the world, in the chaos, in the noise, in the loud banging and hammering, and it's part of all our lives, in our homes, it's happening, preparing us so that when it comes back, it's just going to fit together smoothly. So I liked all the details and statistics that you laid out.
Fascinating, isn't it?
Amazing.
It's so obvious how it relates to our lives.
You step in and start reading it, eh?
Okay. So in Solomon's temple, the stones were prepared at a distance from the construction site, not at the Temple Mount itself. The stones were hewn and dressed at quarries, then transported to Jerusalem for use in the building. So that's the way they did it. We'll go into the preparation at a distance. The stones were not cut and fitted on site. Instead, the quarrying and the shaping of the stones were done in advance. All done before they got to the building site. Yeah.
It's interesting, as we've got to relate this to ourselves.
Yeah. So this is where Yahusha is now with us. We're in the quarry in our lives. The quarry we talk about is in our homes.
Yeah.
How do you know we're in the quarry when you look at the vein?
We've come through the baptisms and been delivered from all that we've cleaned out.
Power.
Oh yeah, and we've overcome, but we're still needing to be moulded and shaped and fitted, smoothed off,
Refined.
wrinkles smoothed out.
And each stone, are you going to say it further on, but each stone was handed individually, quarried.
Yeah.
Each one had to be individually. I was thinking of stone rubbing against stone,
Yeah.
iron against iron.
Yeah.
You know,
Sharpens.
it has to be smooth. Everything has to be so smooth, so it reflected the light and everything.
Well, see, we know it's in our homes because when you're out in public, if things get a little bit uncomfortable, or that's okay, nice to see you. I'll see you next time. Like that's enough for me.
Yeah, you can.
When you're in your home, it's a bit different. You don't have, unless
You can't just walk away.
unless you drop a huge bomb, and do something stupid and dramatic, you're rubbing against each other.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there's relationships that are there.
Yeah. So that's the only place where you're really open and like your reputation is what it is. You can't run from it or hide from it. Everybody sees you. Behind who you project that you think you are out there, everybody sees who you really are.
Yeah.
And you go out there with them and they see you acting differently, what do they think?
They think, oh, what a fake.
He's on his best behaviour.
That's it.
Or you're a weirdo.
Yeah, and that becomes, depending on how young they are, that becomes their impression of Yahusha, because you're telling them that Yahusha is the way to go. And so if you're behaving this way, then they think, is that what I want? It's not a genuine witness of who Yahusha is. It's false. So yeah, you got to face that. Repent. So
Interesting, isn't it, when you think the stones were prepared a long way from Jerusalem, and then they had to be carted. So there's danger that they could get chipped and all sorts of things. So they'd have to be very extra careful.
Well, that's the thing. They probably carted them individually so that there wasn't that, and they would have had, some sort of straw or something around them. So if you think about it, the fact that they're being prepared in advance, we're being prepared in advance for the new city.
Yeah.
So in essence, we are those stones that are the same as what they did with Solomon's Temple stones. We're being shaped, we're being formed, we're being smoothed and made sure that we are perfect for what he wants.
It all associates, doesn't it?
It does.
Right?
Yeah.
From back
Absolutely.
then into, he brings it into reality within us.
yeah,
We are the temple,
yeah,
and he's in the temple doing this
yeah,
in our daily lives.
yeah,
It's very hard to get the world or religion to see those working parts. Oh, they'll sit there and agree with you and everything, but they don't go into the depth of the preparation,
no,
do they?
Not at all.
no,
So it's amazing how it all associates. He did it before, and now he's doing it in reality with human beings, forming them the way he wants to, shaping them. You might come to a part of the wall where it goes skew-whiff or something, and they have to be shaped, the stones, to still make the wall look straight. So there's special shapings and things
yeah,
that everyone has to go through.
Yeah.
Where you're going to fit.
yeah, totally. The thing I haven't been able to get out of my head is, in a lot of those pictures that were put up, you see people with hammers and things,
Yeah.
and yet they're at the temple. And I was thinking, that looks a bit noisy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a mallet.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a rubber mallet. I'm thinking, how do you put stones together without?
Well, they're
Making a
Silently.
noise.
They're measured and prepared for each block. Each block is
Just the way you
measured
put
and
that.
prepared, and they just slide in beautifully together.
And they have to be silent.
Yeah, but they knew where they were up to in building it.
Yeah.
So Yahusha knows where he's up to, where each stone is going to be placed.
Yeah,
It's just like a vision
yeah,
that he's put forth. But, he said he's prepared a beautiful mansion for each one of us. So it's different, but
the images
still,
change. Yeah, I see.
There's so much involved in this, isn't there?
Look, Victoria's got to hold it up so the camera can see.
Rock.
That's a stone out of a blue metal quarry my family have down the bottom of their property that I bought home.
Yeah.
Blue metal.
Yeah,
Wow.
down in the
How
quarry.
heavy is that?
It's very heavy and it's only small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to chip into that and form a shape.
Yeah.
Polish it.
Smooth it out so it's going to fit into where you're getting placed. Yahusha knows each stone personally and where they fit in his building of New Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So we have to fit into that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting what he's expecting of us to fit into.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Totally.
How he wants each stone to be.
Yeah.
Has a place.
Mm.
You go on.
Amazing.
Yeah. So they were transported to Jerusalem. Once prepared, the stones were transported to the Temple Mount, where they were used to build the temple. No construction noise. The Bible explicitly states that no hammer or chisel was heard at the temple site during the construction process, implying that the stones were already precisely fitted at the quarries. That's what you were talking about.
Yeah. So nobody knows what's going on in the quarry, really, do they?
No.
Well, it's all inside yourself,
It's in your home.
in your home.
Quarry, the quarry is your
yeah.
home.
Yeah, but
So nobody outside really knows what's going
it's
on.
private,
It's
personal.
true,
You
isn't it?
don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Well, you were saying that.
Mm.
So Yahusha is in the home,
Yeah.
right, preparing us.
Yep, chipping away.
I
Yeah.
don't know anybody who's shared the laundry as much as our group has, like to help people. Most people won't go that far to share what really goes on in their lives, to let people know that this is normal.
Mm.
But you're right, it's in the home. Yeah.
Well, the reason we did that was because you guys couldn't see,
No.
and you were fighting all the way through. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I just had to show you on
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah.
and it was very emotional.
Oh,
Lots of
yeah.
things
Yeah.
happened,
Yeah.
getting up and walking out and all sorts of things. So yeah, we've shared that with the
Yeah.
public so they
Yeah.
can see us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so they can see our journey,
Yeah.
and they can judge whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
We wanted to be that transparent,
Mm.
that open,
Yeah.
but we couldn't be.
No, we're
No.
still getting there.
We just couldn't give that. We couldn't reach that. So the journey continued through many scriptures and many talks and many videos.
Mm.
And now we've got to the place where we can all sit together
Yeah.
and talk about almost anything.
Reason.
So that's a really big change in everyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
What's your thoughts on that, Marky, after the plane goes over?
I agree with it. It's helped a lot of people because there's so much facade out there, and it's kind of part of this whole quarry is the home. It's kind of letting people in to see this is, because it's
Reality.
the attack, the oppression and attack and pressure in these days. It's just overwhelming to people, personally, with their families, spouses, and they could just easily go and go, I'm not going to make this, I'm not going to get through it, it's not possible. But for idiots like us to say, oh yeah, I just did this today and we're having drama and this is happening, and oh, well, if they're going through it, maybe there's hope for me,
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the other thing. People think they're the only ones going through certain situations and certain problems and all that sort of stuff. So when they see that there's someone else that's going through it and is happy to, I wouldn't say so much happy, but, willing to put it all out there and show them that, hey, this is a normal thing that you're going to go through.
Yep.
It just gives them that, oh, thank goodness I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Thank you, you've helped me so much.
There's hope.
So they can see that their battle and plight that they're going through, there is, hope for them to get through it because we have.
yeah.
So
Fantastic.
it helps them.
Yeah.
So, how long ago did you realise this was actually happening?
This what? The quarry? Well, drama?
This situation being open and real.
Oh, I think we've known it from the beginning. We've hated it all along. Since I've
but-
known you, it's been open and honest.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think you realise the depth of what it would do to the public.
No, I always came at you because it was, no one's going to believe this. We're a joke, well, we can't talk like this, or
It's not
we're not reputable. It's not professional enough. It's not.
Well, is it meant to be professional?
No.
No.
People want to have the real
I was
thing.
copying all the other religious channels, thinking we had to meet a standard, and no, stuff that.
Finally admits it.
It's trying to get an audience. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not the way to
And
do
we
it.
just want to show the real situation.
Yeah.
When the Spirit, when Yahusha comes into our lives, in amongst each other,
It's
what
chaos.
goes on.
Yeah.
You know?
It's
That's
violent.
part of the quarry too, I'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
To get 4 people together to agree
Yeah.
is very, very difficult. To agree that that's what the Word says is very, very difficult. What do you think would be in the way of that?
Our own opinions, the spirits in our flesh,
Yeah.
just wanting to fight and control every situation, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
every person has that spirit, and it just wants to dominate in
Yeah.
everything.
Not
And
one.
prove that no, I'm not wrong. It's not me.
No.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, not wanting anyone to know what it's really
Exactly.
like inside, where
Exactly.
you're at, what you
Even though
say
you know
and do.
you've got this burning sensation inside you, and you know your head's on fire,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're going to explode. But no, I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. Being wrong is a big thing because you think if you're wrong, you can't help anybody. It's the opposite. Like you think Yahusha wants you to be a certain way, and then he says, my ways are not your ways. Just like they all wanted him to be a certain way, so he went and did the opposite. They wanted him big and victorious, and he went and washed their feet. When we're weak and honest and open and finding, even just by the hits, it's genuine. It's people are
Yeah.
affected. And they've got enough of that. If they want religion, they've got enough of that boasting and arrogance and falsehood out there. If they want something real, they're thirsty. It's a drought.
Well, that's the thing. He says there's strength in weakness,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where by worldly standards, people say if you're weak, you're not strong.
Yeah. Who wants
So
to
that's-
appear weak?
That's where the conflict, contradiction happens.
Yeah.
So we're saying to people that if you show your weakness, it shows your strength, because you can admit to it. You can admit to that weakness. If you can't admit to that weakness, then you're faking. So
Yeah, that's been my biggest problem. Copying a lot of people that never looked like they were wrong or never admitted it. So getting to know Yahusha, you start realising, I don't think that's how he is. I think he lays it all on the table, and I think I should just say this or say that. Or,
How much fighting did you have to do with yourself to get through that point?
constant. He wants to look weak. You know, like
Intense.
everybody's seen it. You get fresh things from him, and I'm trying to fit it into all the different doctrines that I thought we had to have. And Yahusha, it's exactly what he did.
I'd have to speak a bit louder.
Yeah,
Helicopter.
it's exactly what they were trying to do with him.
Yeah.
Just stalking his words, trying to fit them into their Torah mindsets. And he's like, yeah, it fits, don't worry. You don't have to check, it fits. It's new, it's fresh, but it fits.
So take hold of this. You know what you just said in our weakness, not in our weakness here, Tom. You said people say
If you're weak, that
You're not strong.
you're not strong.
That's right. So you know what I did with that?
What?
Because I faced what the world was like, I ran into that behaviour. Embraced it openly,
Yep.
and I didn't care what anybody said.
Yeah.
And I just ran for it. What does that make you guys think?
Hold that thought, let's have a break.
Please. Thanks.
You're funny.
Yeah, will be.
Oh,
Where are
this
we at?
helicopter. Go away.
It's been waiting for us.
They're probably looking for someone. So the question was, how do you feel about me back then wanting to run the opposite way to society? How do you feel about that attitude? I wanted the truth. I'm looking for the truth all the time. Embracing
Well, that's exactly what we need to do. Run to the truth. Run. Don't worry about what society thinks.
Do you?
No,
To some extent,
not always.
yes, but
If you look at family traditions, just that. And if you look at the life you've lived, just that. Are there things that would stop you, I'm just asking you, from taking up that mantle and saying, I'm going to run?
there have been.
Yeah?
There have been.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know, you
Like what, for instance?
the opinions that people have of you.
Mm-hmm.
More your family than anybody else, because who cares what everybody else thinks?
Mm-hmm.
But your family are the people that you've been around for all of your life.
Yeah.
They're the ones that usually know you
Mm-hmm.
and call you out on pretty much anything and everything, and they're the ones that will put you down no matter what.
Mm.
And
So
You
what
think,
would
well-
you do in that situation if you're in that situation and that happened?
just
Now-
let them have it.
Yeah.
Just let them have it.
Yeah.
Whatever they say. Water off duck's back, as the saying goes.
Good.
Mm.
That's
Don't worry
a really
about
good attitude to have.
Because if you're going to take everything they say to heart, then you're taking everything they're saying personal,
Mm.
and then you're holding it.
Mm.
And there's no point holding anything
Yeah.
that they say, because they're of the world.
Yeah. And what would stop you from going into that attitude?
Yeah, well, memories and of your past, things that that have happened to you about,
Things
Yeah.
like what?
like your failures.
Oh, right. They have that on you.
Yeah, you're a failure.
So you don't feel you have an appropriate voice because of what they're holding on you.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Well,
you've got to
think
let them have it. You've got to,
Think of Yahusha going into his hometown.
yeah. Well,
He
this-
couldn't do many miracles
No.
because,
Yeah.
but he still did some.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
You've
he
still got to hold your
still
own
kept
who you
going.
know you are in Yahusha and not let
Mm.
that. That's what you're saying. You just take the opposite, the truth. You face the truth about what they're saying, all the things you've done. Yes, I did that. I failed there. Yes, I've said that. Yes, and just
Well, have a look at the
Crazy.
conversation I had with that Michael, that Greek guy that thinks that the New Testament is written in Greek.
Oh, Matthew, yeah.
Matthew, yeah,
Mm.
Matthias or something.
yeah,
Look at the conversation I had with him.
yeah,
He was declaring that you don't have any background, you haven't got letters behind your name,
Qualifications.
qualifications,
Mm.
all that sort of stuff.
yeah,
And so I told him I don't think anyone needs, when they come into Yahusha, they don't need anything like that, because he being in you is the qualification
Mm.
and the words and the behaviour. That's what he judges on.
Mm.
He looks at the heart.
Yeah.
And that's just religious.
yes,
Mm.
To me, that's just propaganda. That's just putting down.
yeah,
And that's his conversation,
yeah,
which is really, really sad, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
Very sad.
yeah.
And he's an Australian and he's close to us. I thought, oh, we could make a nice friend here,
Mm.
you know, not seeking anything or wanting anything.
Yeah, I felt very upset by it.
Yeah, I know.
Like I'd failed.
Well, that's why
Yeah.
I did what I did. I could
Yeah.
see how you felt. Did it make you feel better?
Yeah. Because I constantly think, oh, Christopher would have succeeded here, and I couldn't get through to him.
No,
But
I
in the
didn't-
end, you
yeah,
rebuked him,
yeah.
and I thought, well, okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a place for slow and steady, and there's a
Yeah,
place
yeah.
for not having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I don't think he could care less about you.
No.
And he gave you that impression
So
Yeah.
cruel.
and ran you down, said you were a cult and all
Yeah.
this sort of thing.
Yeah.
He's in the biggest cult in the world,
That's it.
Christian church,
Yeah, that's it.
you know.
Jesus,
You gotta
spoke
know.
Greek.
You got to know who you are,
Yeah.
why I ran to go,
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated it when you
Weak.
did that.
eh?
I hated it when you did that.
What?
Started going humble and nice and cunning and gentle and yeah,
Yeah,
because I'd modelled myself after
The old Chrissy.
Christopher 2.0.
Yeah.
And now we're up to what, 6.0? and I thought, yeah, because you're very much someone I would follow into any situation. You speak the truth. You wouldn't put up with anything. You call out BS where it is, and you know, fearless. But then when you started getting more cunning and gentle and loving, and you know, I thought, I'm not very good at that. That doesn't come naturally to me.
Well, there's the quarry.
Hence the training.
Yeah. But it's not me.
No.
It's the truth among us. His power.
Yeah.
They aren't experiencing that, so they have to have all the scholasticism behind it.
Yeah.
You've got more as a plane.
Yeah. It's all right. It's fine. Yeah.
Well, if you have a look at the people that Yahusha chose as his followers, his disciples, his apostles, whatever you want to call them, they didn't have any qualifications.
Oh,
Fishermen.
Few of them were doctors.
Fishermen and you know, there was a tax collector and those sorts of people. What qualifications do they really have?
Yeah.
Well, in the world, it's considered, but to Yahusha, he looks at the heart, and he's calling the people to be smoothed out in the quarry that he wants. And they're not necessarily, they're sinners, they're people that aren't scholastic, but can read, can receive his truth, and can speak it. You know? So, like if I was in a family situation, I would just say, well, what went down, you saw the truth of it all. You know? But as far as I'm concerned, they're dead and gone. And you're in a dreadful state harping on it. And I think you should watch your words, what you say to a person. You know, you're not above anybody else. You know, you haven't shown the right qualifications in Yahusha, which is behaviour, which is better than the priests. Is it not?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what it's all about. You stand and you say, don't be afraid to speak out against that. You can't have that come under it. That's the pressure of the last days, to bring you back into their fold.
That's it.
And then they're just going to have you there under them.
Yeah.
No way. That's not what Yahusha wants. So you've got to stand on who you are. You've got to say who you are in him. That's not a helicopter, that's a plane. Flying low, a small plane. Busy out there in the airwaves.
I've got my work cut out for me, it doesn't matter.
I reckon.
Fine.
So what do you think about taking on that mantle if you're in a family group situation? What do you think about actually saying, it's about time you dropped all that? You know, it's very unhealthy for you to have that in you. It's not right. It's not good. You should change your mind so you can be at peace. Not have that.
It's time to do something fresh, isn't it? I mean, I watched you hug lots of my boys and even apologise for things, and I've done the same thing. It's best to start again, isn't it? And just say, what's done's done, and just have loving. Don't harp about you. You should just have a nice relationship.
Start again where?
In the home.
In the quarry.
In the quarry, yeah.
And all you have to do is just
do it.
Like when Therase said that, and I heard that, I went that way.
Yeah.
Not down, you know. Not down.
Yeah, he humbles, not depressed. Humbles, just
not defeated.
Well, you see everything that's really going on, and you say, oh yeah, you think, you feel, oh yeah, that's obvious, yeah. And then he'll give you a word to. So it's about time you guys all grew up, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we're past all that.
Yeah.
And face who you are as a man and a woman. And not come under it. Cowering under their wickedness.
Yeah.
Yahusha doesn't want his people doing that.
Mm.
So you have to get the chutzpah in
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
to say it.
Yeah. Good. Love it.
Well, have you practiced doing that?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Okay,
Right.
so you've got something new
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
in any situation. You
Mm.
always listen first,
Mm.
understand, and if he wants you to say something, you can just say,
Mm.
you know,
Yeah. Beautiful.
and stand on it.
Mm. Yeah.
Put them in their place. Rebuke it.
Yeah.
Because where's it coming from?
Their flesh, spirit. Or just straight from the enemy.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a spiritual act.
Yeah.
it's being used against you.
Yeah.
And you have to put it in
That's
its place.
To
Mm.
bring you under them
Yeah.
and just
Well,
bring
none
you
of
back
you-
into it.
Yeah, none of you have had that strength inside
No.
yourselves.
No, I can see that.
So you can see why I went that way. I
Yeah.
wanted to find the truth.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
You know?
You did. You definitely did, and you found it, and you. Yeah, it's the way.
So what about you guys? When you hear how I really feel, I am in the fight.
Mm.
I won't give up.
That's
Mm.
yeah.
That's your statement.
Yeah.
I'm not coming under this.
Mm.
This is all a bit oppressive,
Yeah.
don't you think? You can say to them,
Yeah.
come back,
Yeah.
don't cop it.
Yeah.
Because it never goes anywhere and they're just the same, there's no change.
Yeah.
What do we want to see?
Change.
Change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you speak out to them, you're giving them love,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
you're
find
helping them.
you find that on a daily basis. You might give an instruction
Yeah.
and they don't listen, and then when you start to get upset and angry about it, and you say to them, "I've asked you, I don't know how many times,
Yeah.
to do
Mm.
A, B, C."
Is this about the washing?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is about.
Don't say that word.
She's got the joke.
It doesn't matter what it's about, but you know, when you give them an instruction
Yeah.
and they just have the whole, "Yeah, I don't care what you say" attitude.
Well, you should come over and say, what's that attitude on your face? Confront it.
Aren't
So
we a
would
bit
you-
over this?
Well,
Would you come down here now and do
funny.
what I
I
asked
actually
you
I did that the other day.
now? Well, good.
Funny.
I was
Good on you.
upstairs and one was, this is the washing.
Yeah.
One was folding the washing and the other one was just in his room on his phone on his bed doing absolutely nothing. And I opened the door. I said, "Think you could get up now and help?
Sweet darling boy.
You're not immune to helping.
Mm.
Everybody's got to do their bit in the quarry, don't they?
Hmm.
You know?
Well, if you've expressed what the quarry is to them and you've told them,
Well,
there
this was
should be what?
Order.
order and obedience.
Yeah. And that's what you want to see in them,
Yeah.
develop in
Yeah.
them. So
Yeah.
you have to be at them. Have I stopped being at you guys?
No.
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 So you have to
No.
be,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
continual thing.
yes,
Yeah.
and be prepared to want to do it for their sake.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's not helping you.
No.
But
No.
You've got to be prepared till they,
Get it.
and it's a
Repetitive.
program in them that's
Very
working.
repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be any problem. They've only got two of them.
Yeah.
And the duties they have wouldn't be that vast, would it?
Very
Right,
minimal.
so how easy is it for them? And
Yeah.
explain that to them. Just do it. Just get your body and get your
Yeah.
mind together. Before you go up there, do your duties.
Mm.
Simple.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shouldn't that be a thing that's going to go on and on and on?
Mm.
Obviously, they've got you two in a place where you're afraid
Mm. Yeah, I see.
of them and their reactions to you.
Mm.
Hmm.
Because they're threatening you. If you keep going, I'm not going to be interested in Yahusha.
I see.
Mm.
Got you over a barrel.
Mm.
You've got to make Yahusha more interesting to them.
Mm.
I watched that movie you gave me, Minecraft.
I haven't watched it. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, I know, but I watched it to see
That's
what
their mindset.
was it all about.
What was it about? Nonsense.
Lego creatures
building
going in
block.
through a
Yeah.
portal into another dimension, and there's another dimension after that
Yeah.
with wickedness and fire and all these creatures and
Yeah.
all this stuff going on.
That's the one Joe went and saw 6 times.
6 times. I said to Victor, how on earth could he want to see that 6 times and go and pay to see it? I thought, oh.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know what the fascination
Mindset.
was.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, being in another reality,
Yeah.
it's like many, many believers today, they don't want this reality, this change, this behaviour. They want to have the world as well as a bit of this. Yeah?
Yeah.
So
It's also the world telling them they have to do it. You know, like when the biggest shows or the biggest artists or the biggest things come to town,
Yeah.
you've got
Gotta
to be involved. Well, that movie was, it's on the side of every cup and it's on every bag and it's on all the fast food and it's on, so that
Merch.
they're controlled by what society says to do.
Mm.
well, they don't have to be,
Of course they
do
do.
they?
Of course they do.
If you get the quarry going.
Yeah. That's it.
Anyway, let's move on in the
Yeah.
story.
We were up to skilled labour. Solomon utilised skilled craftsmen from Tyre, including Hiram, and stonemasons from 𝐔𝐍𝐋𝐿 to oversee and execute the stonework. They
Where's
were
that? Where is that here?
skilled.
All right, skilled labour.
They were quarried from limestone beds and had to be fabricated and brought to the temple site, all ready to be laid in place.
They were quarried from limestone beds and had to be fabricated and brought to the temple site, all ready to be laid in place. So it's all done. So the quarry is where everything gets done. You go through the vein, you get delivered. That spirit doesn't have power over you anymore. The spirit in your flesh is gone because the incorruptible spirit is there,
Yeah.
setting out its perfume to destroy and ruinate the corrupted seed.
Yeah.
So then you come into the quarry to be shaped and perfected to fit in there.
Yeah.
Isn't it good?
Oh,
Oh.
It's
so
wonderful.
clever.
Yeah. What does limestone look like? Is it like marble?
Limestone
white?
is like a white, lime.
Stunning.
Yeah, it's
Lime.
actually it can be white or it can be a grey sort of colour.
Yeah.
Polishes up like marble, does it?
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's got all usually ripply, you know, when they've cut it out.
Yeah.
So all that area have to be shaped,
Yeah.
measured, shaped to fit into its slot in the temple, which is a shadow of the New Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to go through in the quarry.
It's actually one of the hardest stones that you can get. It doesn't chip as easily as like sandstone. Sandstone is soft,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
squeeze away.
limestone is quite a hard thing. So when they're chipping away, it wouldn't break as easily.
Well, we keep mentioning chipping. What would they do to smooth it out, do you think, in those days?
Well, they would have had some sort of rubbing mechanism.
Yeah, like a
You know, might have been a smaller piece of
sand.
the rock where they were rubbing against it to smooth it.
Yeah.
Whenever I've seen stone smoothing, it's always been under, like it's been, they're pouring water over it.
Yeah. Well, that's sandstone normally.
Okay.
So when you look at that constant rubbing, smoothing, bringing the size, preparing the size and the shape for it to fit in. How would you interpret that, the smoothing when you're in the quarry at home? How would you determine that?
Rough edges, there's harsh
You
words.
keep going to the rough edges. We're talking about
chipping,
getting it smooth.
getting it smooth.
Well, that's just getting the behaviour in order.
The word.
So smoothing out, okay, well that's not right. So we need to teach you how to have that particular thing right. And if you've got that particular thing right, then you move on to the next thing.
So
That isn't.
how grinding would that be on a person that you're telling in the home? You're not giving in. They won't do it, so you have to come in, pardon me, with a smoother. Rub and rub and rub.
Yeah.
It's
How
a
grinding
constant
would
thing.
that be?
It's constant, isn't it? It has to go over, back and forth.
Until it's prepared, there's an end.
There's an end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're, well, that's the thing, if they're not willing to change, to be smoothed, then that rubbing is just going to continue until they say, okay, I've got to stop my behaviour and I've got to do what is being asked of me, basically.
Yeah, I have to be prepared. You have to lend yourself to the grinding.
Yeah.
And the more willing you are to lend yourself, the less grinding and smoothing you'll get.
Yeah.
So it's not mainly the chipping. We've been through the chipping.
Yeah.
Now it's the grinding, the smoothing, the shaping. So it's going to fit perfectly. And they've measured it in the temple, and they've measured it in the stone, and they've prepared the stone to fit in its place. Every stone had a place in the temple.
Yeah.
It wasn't all just mechanically put out with lifted and grinded like we do today.
It's
It was
hand
all
done.
hand done. And so it
Personal.
speaks of hand done in the quarry. Has to be handled
Handcrafted.
right way.
Oh, it speaks to you in so many deeper.
Well, did you
ways.
know this when you look at it?
No.
That this is what
This is in
it is and what's going on.
deeper
Well, you
than
don't look
think.
into that sort of depth, do you?
What
You have some vague idea of what's happening, but to that particular depth, not really.
So if he's in the home, even if you go in the bog, does he know where you are?
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Is he still in you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's going to know your heart and your thoughts and your behaviour.
Yeah.
So if you get a bit of chipping or grinding coming at you, you have to realise what he's saying to you, because he's the one doing it. Situation comes up and there's always an reaction. So he's looking at all that and talking to you. He's there, present.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
Okay, let's go on.
How were ancient stones cut? Quarrying technique consisted of digging a trench around a block of stone, then cutting beneath the stone and pushing it out. So that trench around, I thought that was like separating you from the world, separating and bringing you, and then digging beneath your stone and pushing you out, pushing you into situations, pushing you out of that. So you feel that push, don't you?
Oh yeah, you'd feel everything if you're a stone.
Once the stone was extracted, workers cut a series of holes with a hammer and chisel.
It's underneath.
The building of Solomon's Temple was one of the most remarkable construction operations in history. Much of the temple's beauty was in these great stones. Beautiful and costly stones quarried from beds of white limestone were used in its construction.
So Yahusha says, I will finish the work I started. So you're going to become a finished work, a lively stone. And he's put so much time, effort and
Hasn't he?
energy into it. This is where we have to see what he's done to us and give that to others. So they can come through quicker in these last days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
But it's a matter of behaviour and knowledge of who you are in Yahusha. You're not coming under that madness with a smile.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Go on.
What was so unusual about the building process of the temple? Accounts told of Yahuwah's presence coming into the completed temple indicated a sacredness in the process of construction. In building the temple, only blocks dressed at the quarry were used, and no hammer, chisel, or any other iron tool was heard at the temple site while it was constructed. It was to be a peaceful site.
So you can see the whole point, the whole thing of the temple is his presence. How do we look at that today?
Inside us, we are his temple.
Yeah.
Spirit baptism.
And so the New Jerusalem does not have a temple.
No.
It's got him, and it's got us, and we've got him in us. So we've got him. The city has him as the light. Yeah.
Interesting, eh?
Yeah.
That's why he has to destroy Shemayim
Yeah.
when he comes through. That radiating power is going to destroy what's behind and in front.
Yeah.
Because he's going to make everything
New.
behold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the filth has to go.
Yeah.
He doesn't want it. Doesn't want dust and dirt.
No.
Just wants
Defiled.
it peaceful and quiet. Because they knew he was going to come in to the temple. So how do we interpret that today? Spirit baptism?
Yep.
Yeah.
Come in to our temple.
Yeah.
What does he want when we look at that?
Peace and quiet.
Yeah.
No raging anymore.
Yeah.
It's up to all of us in our quarries to get this discipline and behaviour.
Yeah.
You know?
Very true.
Okay, don't go on.
And we're going into the Hebrew for quarry as a place of cutting stones. Cut out, carve, to hew, split, square, engrave, dig, divide, made, mason, hammer, hole, pick out, pierce, put, thrust out.
So that's
That's
what the
we've
place
been
of...
through.
Sorry, go on.
So that's what we're going through in the
Yeah,
quarry.
all that.
Mm.
Cut out, carve, hewn, split, square,
And you feel it. You
engrave.
feel it when you're going through it.
Well, you do, don't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
have that knowledge.
Yeah.
So where are we in the vein?
In the quarry
Quarry.
Yeah. The quarry is the final
Final step.
process.
yeah, where you're prepared.
Mm.
And in that process, you can learn how to rebuke or how to speak out if it's against, not if it's against us, we don't care, but if it's against the truth. You're not that anymore.
Yeah.
I have
That's
the
the
right.
difference.
Yeah.
If it's against us, it's not. We don't come back at that.
No.
But if it's against the truth,
Yeah. And the truth
that's
is,
a good
you
point.
have changed and they won't recognise it.
Mm.
It doesn't mean you just walk out and you know, have
Let
a
them
hit.
have it.
Oh, see, I knew what she was like or what he was like.
Mm.
You stay
Mm.
and you wait
That's a very good
for a
point.
response.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Wait
you
it
leave it with them. It'll go quiet and then
Yeah.
there'll be mutterings
Crickets.
starting. Yeah, crickets. But there'll be mutterings starting
Yeah.
Mm.
to, or maybe,
You enjoy the waiting. Yeah.
yes, well, you should
You
too.
don't.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah, it's the eye rolls
you
and
enjoy the
stuff that
silence.
you get
Yeah.
when you give them a truth.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if you keep waiting and they can see that you're genuine, you're not going to hissy fit,
Yeah.
whiz out, stand it.
Yeah, it's
Stand
got to
your
be.
ground.
It's got to be delivered in love.
And that
hasn't it?
power, the
That's it.
sword,
Yeah.
will work.
Yeah.
It will work.
Yeah. I get it. Mm.
So this is in the preparation for you guys to know this knowledge,
Yeah.
how to stand.
Yeah.
What I can see, it's an extension of letting them have it.
Yeah.
You let them have it, let them have it, let them have it, let them have it. And then, but
Speak.
you can still speak when it's against the truth.
Yeah.
And the truth is, they have no idea of the change you've been through. They're accusing you of being what you were.
Mm.
And that's very wrong.
Mm.
Mm.
That's not true. What you're saying is not true.
Mm.
you are speaking without knowledge or permission to discuss my person in such a way.
Yeah.
You're really out of order.
Yeah.
So many different ways you could say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Stand
good.
your ground.
Yeah, that's the thing. They like to try and push you so that you'll go back
Yeah.
and
Or go off.
go off
Mm.
at them. So that way they can have that.
Yeah.
See, you haven't changed.
You stop them from having it, and what are they left with?
So
They have to.
What they're having.
They have to think about it.
if they can't roll you up, then that's the test, isn't it? Yeah, I get it.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Just calmly say it. I think you're out of order. I think you've got the bull by the horns or whatever. You shouldn't be speaking of my person in such a tone. The past is the past. We've all talked about the past is the past. It should be forgotten. A lot of people say, but I don't forget, or you should forget, so that you can see the value of what's before you
That's true.
as a person. You
Yeah.
come in with all those cliches that they use. Give it back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
So the careful preparation and precision required in building the temple in his city as the New Jerusalem, because there is no temple in the city, where stones were shaped before being brought to the construction site, speaks to us about our preparation here, now, before Yahusha's return, making us to fit together in perfect position as his city, not the temple. In 1 Peter 2:4-6, as you come to him, a living stone, rejected by men, but in the sight of Alahim, chosen and precious. You yourselves, like living stones, are being built up as a spiritual house, to be a clean priesthood,
Amen.
to offer spiritual sacrifices, acceptable to Alahim through Yahusha.
What do you think they may be in your quarry? You know how a husband's supposed to be with a wife, wife's supposed to be with a husband. You know that. What do you think this would entail?
Spiritual.
Sacrifices that are acceptable. So if you're in a group of people that are running you down,
That's
you speak
speaking
out.
the truth is a sacrifice.
Yeah, put them
What
in.
you were saying.
Wherever you go.
Balls of your lips.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
In all your behaviour. Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's up to each and every individual person. If you get stubborn about a topic, one should say, okay, I understand, and that you'll see the grinding coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you just got to face it.
Yeah.
And sometimes they won't say sorry or won't make it clear, but they'll change. Isn't that good enough?
It is
Does
good
it
enough.
need to be discussed?
Big showdown.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Okay, no?
For it stands in Scripture, behold, I am laying in Zion a stone, a cornerstone, chosen and precious, and whoever believes in him will not be put to shame.
So if you do this, you won't be put to
Shame.
You don't have to come under. You can say, no.
Can't be wrong.
Oh, that's great.
Amazing.
Referring to believers as living stones being built into a spiritual house
Yeah.
by a process of spiritual transformation
Yeah.
and shaping in the quarry of our homes,
Wonderful.
where all the real action takes place.
That's about it.
Refining and ironing out any wrinkles and rough behaviours within each of us.
So you guys have got a quarry. You know what he expects of you in your quarry.
Yeah.
Same as us.
Yeah.
And when we go from quarry to quarry, we can all be of one mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's lovely. A great deal of personal sacrifice awaits us once we commit ourselves to the quarry process, which prepares us for our responsibilities in Yahusha's temple.
Yeah.
That process is not at all fun.
It's true.
With shameful and humbling remorse, we realise who Yahusha really is in our
Hallelujah.
lives,
Hallelujah.
and that He owns us.
Amen.
Who
Amen.
are we? You know.
Yeah.
If we do not feel the shaping going on, we
Yeah.
will. It must.
Yeah.
Many,
Because you've made the decision,
yeah,
you might go through doubts, but as you're going through the vein,
Yeah.
getting delivered and coming into the quarry, you know what's going to go down and you expect it.
Yeah.
So you're not shocked when things happen and go off.
Mm.
Just, oh, right, I see.
Yeah.
You know, they're not through yet.
Yeah.
Okay?
many valuable stones lose as much as 60% of their initial size and mass before they are considered finished as beautiful jewels.
Wow.
We must sacrifice significant parts of our lives, our habits, our cultures, reasoning, and values to be transformed into one of Yahusha's jewels, a gem fit for our Master, which is His will and desire for each of us.
Yep.
Offer your bodies a living sacrifice, set apart, well-pleasing, your reasonable worship, your
I
behaviour.
love that. This is your reasonable worship.
Yeah. Not over the top.
No.
Not
Just
But it's over the top
Excellent.
for coming out of the world. This
it'll
is
do.
over top.
It's just reasonable.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
That's the least you can do.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the placement and position Yahusha is forming in our behaviour to be effective within the family, and then to be able to expand our outlook and experience to show others a difference of what they are missing out on. Yahusha living inside us, orchestrating every word and action, a perfect fit in His new reign.
And that was the whole thing about building the temple. They knew He was going to come in.
Yeah.
So here it is now, today. Yahusha living inside us. Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the whole story of the gospel, isn't it?
Yes.
Bringing it to
Yes.
around the quarry. Amazing.
Comments?
It really is where the genuine behaviour is formed, because how many people, even through our walk, even through all the years, how many people, full-on believers, trying to be something and do something and achieve something, and yet their kids just are not interested because of their focus is on themselves and their reputation. Yet the quarry is about the family. The quarry is about loving and yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, not going to go on. You get the
That's
point.
all right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
What you feel from it?
yeah. So it's time well spent.
Just explains and makes you realise the depth of His hand on your life, with the shaping, the chipping, all that. You felt it, you know it, you go through it, and you detest it at the time and fight it and carry on, but coming through you just see, oh, how gracious was He to do that, and how He allowed me so much space and time, and the effort that He put in, and it just gives you so much understanding about His personality, His love. And then you feel so different, and you just want to share that, but you want to be able to do that and have that and give and share it. To share it is another thing, to be able to explain and show others is is what you helped explain today. Brought that through, it's wonderful.
Well, if we look back in our personal life, just our personal life, head on the pillow at night, the loneliness, the torment, the heartache, how we were, in our sins. And we heard a voice call us out. And here we are now in the finishing part in the quarry.
Yeah.
What we've been through to get here. You know? Now that we all know it, and we know the vein, we can make it easier for others without all those disturbing other gospels coming in to disturb and split, like the Jews came in amongst the early believers, trying to split it all up and lie about Yahusha. You know, called him Jesus and all that sort of stuff. Oh, they're also happy that everyone doesn't know God is Yahuwah and Jesus is Yahusha. Totally different names, and there's no power in Jesus and God. They have no concept. There's so many people that are blind, the scripture tells you. To reach them is very difficult because they don't want to repent. And you have to understand, if you talk to somebody, you can tell whether they don't want to repent. Not judging. We just smile and change the subject and move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how you got to be. Clever, cunning, not get caught.
It's very rare to find a repentant person, isn't it? Open heart, soft, hungry.
Well, you know from your own experience, from my own experience, we know we were like that, but we still wanted the truth. That's what he hangs on to. So he reveals it. He comes to you and reveals himself to you. He's only looking for the ones that feel like that. You know, there's no truth. I mean, I was in my 20s when I realised there's no truth in the world.
No.
There's something going on. I want to find the truth. I want to find out why I'm like this and why I can see my mistakes. Why I want to find out what is the real thing, what's going on. So here we are.
Yeah.
I wanted the end. And it hasn't been easy, as you said there. Has not been easy. And I think we can all make a statement to that. But do we want to stop?
No.
No, the truth has to be delivered. And we're getting lots of truth all the time, but it's got to be delivered in love. I can see that. I only respond to love. My wife, my children only respond to love. So you literally have to drop your bag, drop your grievances, drop your everything, and just love is the only thing that you cover it, and you just you give the truth in it. It can't be just this is the truth, so you do it. It doesn't work. No. It's got to be. They've got to feel loved, cherished.
That's right.
And that's
we
that's
are
the
a
dying of
stone,
yourself.
don't we?
That's yourself dying.
Well, you don't feel any manipulation going on here to reveal anything, because you're all past that. That's finished. It's up to everyone at the moment how they're going to present his word in their life.
Brilliant word, Victor.
It's great, isn't it?
Wonderful. I was so excited.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, you brothers and sisters, hope you've enjoyed this. We have.
Yeah.
Hope it helps. Love you. Bye.